Hi, good evening, everyone. Our today's session is about diabetes. Diabetes are of two kinds, type A, type B. In both the diabetes, what actually happens is our renal or our kidney has beta cell on top of that. Those beta cells are the factory of insulin. And when beta cell, for any reason, genetic or lifestyle, malfunction, misfunction, or non-function, and insulin cease to be manufactured by them, then our glucose in our body, which is manufactured by, secreted by liver, does not get metabolized. Level of glucose goes up and the level of insulin remains low. And when we check our blood, we will find that glucose level in our blood is high. If it is 140, 160 milligram per deciliter, then it's okay. But if it goes higher than 200, 250 milligrams per deciliter, it's threatening. It can create lots of problems. Two types of diabetes, NIDDM and IDDM. IDDM means insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus. Insulin-dependent, in which the patient has to take insulin shot. Otherwise, glucose level will not sink, it will stay elevated. Other one is NIDDM, non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, in which doctor is going to prescribe you some kind of medication which will neutralize excessive amount of glucose from your blood. That is about diabetes in a nutshell. We don't have to know this. As a patient, we don't have to know this. Doctors have to know this. But what every patient of diabetes or those people who have diabetes in their family, parents, grandparents, and they are the carrier of diabetic gene, must know the symptoms of diabetes so early on they can take care of themselves. That is what is essential for you to know, and that is what we are going to know today. What are the symptoms of diabetes, how we can help ourselves. Diabetes type and the insulin dependent and non-insulin dependent and the beta cell and the renal, these are the things important for the doctors to know. For us to know is only, I prepare 10 different symptoms of diabetes, and when we are going to find that 2, 3, 5 or all 10 symptoms are there, then we are full-fledged diabetic. If we are going to recognize those symptoms late, or if we are going to do anything about those symptoms late, then diabetes can definitely kill. How it kills? It stops our kidney. Our renals shut off, and as soon as the renals shut off, urea from our blood does not get filtered out of our blood. Urea level goes up. That urea level creates thrombosis in our brain, our blood, seizure in our brain, cardiac arrest, 24 hours. Within 24 hours, diabetic patient dies. Once the kidney shuts off, or both the kidneys are shut off, there is nothing anyone can do about it. So it's a preventive disease. It can be prevented. It cannot be cured. Diabetes is totally incurable. There are 20% diabetics in the world. And 10% of the people on top of them are borderline diabetics. 30% of the people are there. Only the thing they can do is take care of themselves, keep weight very low, don't consume carbohydrate, exercise, no sedentary life, weight must be absolutely ideal. And watch out for all the symptoms that we are going to talk about. For example, symptom number 1, glucose. We are going to find glucose in our urea or our urine. Plenty of urine, plenty of urea, plenty of glucose in our urine. Usually urine does not attract flies, but the urine of diabetic people does attract flies. Then we can see that urine is crystal clear, absolutely like water. That means that urine is somewhat fishy, somewhat suspicious, and we should definitely rush to the doctor or dietitian to get our urine checked. Number 2, irritability. When person, actually a normal person who doesn't get angry for small, trivial, mundane thing, all of a sudden he finds that he's getting angry about everything. He's getting angry about his children, about his business, about his education, about food, about weather. Every single thing bothers him. And he is irritated, screaming and shouting all day long. His blood is boiling and everybody seems to bother him and he bothers everyone. When this happens, hyper-irritability without any kind of cause, any kind of reason, any kind of rhyme, then it's a symptom, very telltale system of diabetes. Number 3 is polyurination. Person is going to have urge of urination frequently. Usually person goes to urinate after 3 or 4 hours. Diabetic person will go to urinate almost every hour. That is a very telltale sign that God has given us. That look, take care of yourself. You are going to urinate for every hour. That means there's something wrong in your blood system, in your blood circulation, in your hematomic system. And immediately rush, not hour later, not day later, immediately rush to the laboratory, get your blood test, because 300 or 400 milligram of sugar in our blood, glucose in our blood, can shut off our kidney within 3 or 4 days. So if you're going to wait for 3 or 4 days, you are not going to have time to go to the doctor. Next is skin and bladder infection. Most of the time you are going to see the skin infection. Skin infection and bladder infections don't heal so soon, so easy. So whenever we have infection and we see that these infections are very obstinate infection, they don't go away, they don't die away for month, for 6 weeks, then it is always remember positively, absolutely positively, it's diabetes. So bladder infection, skin infection, blister on our skin, these kinds of disorder when you see, those are the telltale symptoms of diabetes. Next is blurred vision. All of a sudden we see that our eyes don't see as good as they used to see previously. Within week, within month, we can lose 10, 20, 30% of our clear vision and develop blurred vision. When something like that happens, we can definitely find out that there is something wrong in our eye, because previously you used to read fine without having any kind of problem, any kind of bother, and now you cannot read with the same comfortability. That means there is something wrong, and that something wrong is nothing wrong, is diabetes, glycemia. Sixth is fatigue. Person is tired. When he goes to bed, he's tired. When he gets up early in the morning after 10 hours of sleep and 10 hours of rest, tired. In the afternoon, after 2 or 3 hours of siesta, person is tired. Means all day long, 24 hours, you are constantly so tired that you feel like you have been weightlifting or you have been jogging 5-10 kilometers every day. But that kind of fatigue experienced by you without doing any such strenuous exercise or strenuous activities. It's Sunday, you are not doing anything and still you are tired. Then symptom of glycemia, symptom of diabetes. Next is excessive thirst and excessive perspiration. You are thirsty all the time. You drink a glass of water, 10 minutes later you again feel that you are thirsty. You are hunting for water, you are looking for water. You just want to drink water as much as you want or as much as you can. And even if it is winter and the temperature is 20 degrees, still you are sweating. You don't know any reason why you are sweating, but now, after this video, you are going to find out that why you have severe thirst that you cannot quench, and why you have excessive amount of sweat that you cannot stop. Then you must know that you have diabetes. You must do something about it sooner than later. Sixth is deformation of our bone, especially our lower legs bone, lower leg or even feet bone. They are going to become crooked. They are going to deform. They are not going to be the same like your sibling or your children's bone. So compare your bone with someone who is 10, 15 years younger, and you're going to find out the difference between your bone and his bone or her bone, and you're going to find out that there is severe deformity in your bones, and this deformity is caused not by anything else but hyperglycemia, hyperglycemia, or diabetes. Next one we are going to talk about is depression. Person will have severe depression without any reason, any rhyme. There nothing is going on, every single thing is going great for him or her. Nice family, loving family, nice things around, nice home, nice income, every single thing is going great for the person. And still, the person will be suffering from initially chronic depression. This is the chronic depression. Once in a while you suffer from depression, goes and comes, goes and comes. Chronic depression. Then this chronic depression will be progressive and it is going to progress in clinic depression. Clinic depression means you have to take medication from the doctor, you have to go to the doctor, doctor is going to put you on some kind of medication and you are going to feel better. If you are not going to take care of it and ignore it, then this depression is going to progress into manic depression. It's a severe kind of depression that you are going to be totally cuckoo. You are going to be mad, insane, Looney Tune. You are going to be fighting and arguing and screaming and shouting and crying all the time. Cannot control yourself. You don't know what is happening to you. Nobody knows what is happening to you. Even doctors cannot find out what actually the reason is that you are manic depression, but it is diabetic symptom. Next point is next point is amputation of our lower leg. Most of the time it happens. Not sometimes or a few times, but most of the time it happens. Those people who don't monitor or do anything about their hyperglycemia, usually what happens is they have blisters in their feet. Blisters are so rigid, obstinate that doctor cannot heal them. What happens is that these blisters, as a matter of fact, mushroom flourish, spread inside and go into the bone and travel up. When this happens, then cellulitis happens. When this disease happens, that means the infection penetrates into our muscle mass and bone mass. Then nothing can be done. Only the thing can be done to prevent rest of the leg. The doctor is cut off the leg at the knee. As far as infection has traveled, the doctor is going to amputate it, chop it off. I've seen lots of people in that kind of condition. Diabetes is not as mundane as it sounds. It's not as simple as you think. Next point is diabetic retinopathy. In diabetic retinopathy, what happens is that our retina that receives the blood from our veins over here on the side on our temple, these veins are clogged. Blood does not flow. Retinas do not get the ample amount of blood. And eventually blood supply is inhibited, ceased, stopped, and the person goes blind like this. In a snap, goes blip. Right now he is looking at every single thing and admiring the rainy weather and all sorts of things. And 1 hour later he is not able to see anything. The biggest problem of diabetes is not all we discussed. But biggest problem of diabetes is that diabetes is totally concealed, tacit, hidden malady. Nobody knows anything about it except these few symptoms, and all of a sudden it kills a person. All of a sudden, insipidus, chupi bimari, insipidus malady. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, you cannot smell it, you cannot see like the person who has some kind of bone broken, he can see it. Anything, infection outside our body, we can see it. We are getting dressing and all that, but this insipidus malady, diabetes, nobody can tell us that, hey, you have a diabetes. Hey, looking at your face, they can say, hey, what happened to you? Diabetes? Nothing. That is why what happens is that those people who don't know anything about diabetes, they are the biggest victim of diabetes, the most ruthless killer disease in the world. So what to do now? Simple. Simplest thing to do is to don't touch carbohydrates. No rice, no potatoes, no Maggies, no fried stuff, but only protein. 2, keep your weight as low as possible. Even lower than the ideal weight is not going to hurt you. If your ideal weight should be 150 pounds or around 65 kilos, keep 60 kilos. You're never going to have diabetes. Always walk. Always walk. 4th thing, always do some kind of exercise. No sedentary life. Do exercise, remain feather light person. And take medication if you have it. Every week, monitor your diabetes, monitor your glucose level every week, have glucometer at home. Early morning you get up and they check it. 2 hours after eating meal, you can check it. You know your diabetes, make your diabetes your friend, and diabetes is not going to hurt you like enemy. Friends don't hurt. Hurting is coming from the enemies. So, low sodium diet is the most important thing. Sodium can devastate our kidney. Low sodium diet, kidney friendly diet, protein friendly diet, no carbohydrate, lumpy food like rice and the potatoes and the Maggies and the chocolate and the sweet and all kinds of sugary stuff, salt and sugar. Absolutely positively no. Don't eat any kind of junk processed food from outside. Pizza and the puff and the bread and the toast and this and that. No. Remember, law of thumb or Murphy's law. Eat what our grandparents used to eat. Eat what our grandparents used to eat. Dal roti, saag roti, no pizza, no gumbo and jambalaya, no puff, no fancy food, no packed food, no any kind of garbage, no junk food, no fashionable food, no American garbage, no American junk, only food from the hearth of our ma or grandma. That means you may not like it, but your body is going to like it. Your mouth is not going to accept it, but your body is going to accept it. So that's all the time we have today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about something else. See you tomorrow. Until then, God bless you.